behind the cover of what's inside. Things behind the cover of what's inside. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Mhm. We in the house tonight. Yes, we are. What up? What up? What up? Yes, sir. Thanks, Jason. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. What's what? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. What's going on, guys? 1 millimeter. ATL in the house. All right. London in the house. That's what's up. All right. Seb, what up, brother? Mr. Wheatley, how you doing, brother? Good to see you tonight. Mm-hmm. Damn, what up, brother? Can you handle it, Jillian? Can you handle it? Can you handle it? Am I too much? Might, might I be too much? Hello, Jillian dear. Can you handle it? Angel, my man. What up? Mm-hmm. Yeah, ain't anything to roll. Not much, my man. Not much. So, all right. So we're gonna kick the show off tonight with something that I saw that I thought was interesting um, at the 75th anniversary, where Charles Charles saw Jordan, and Jordan basically shunned Charles, and he's still on what's going on between him and Charles. Do they still have this icy relationship? Is this something that's still going on after what Charles said about his group? And this was over 10 years ago. And he wasn't talking about Charles. Charles wasn't talking about Jordan. He was talking about the people around Jordan. That Jordan needs to surround himself with better people, not just yes men, which was a fact when he said that. And it is true. Now, the question that I got for you guys is Jordan being petty? Does Jordan need to grow up here? Because this seems a little childish to me. It does. It seems a little childish because we talking about you and this dude, Charles, being friends. You and Charles, y'all go back since 84. So we talking well over 35 years. That's how far back you dudes go. And Charles gave an opinion about your team, right? Charles gave an opinion about your team, and he was right. There was no way you should have passed on Rudy Gay for Adam Morrison. No, you shouldn't have. Uh-uh. You should not have passed on Damian Lillard. No, you should not have. No. For Kid Gilchrist. No, you shouldn't have done that. Absolutely not. And there are people around you who are quote unquote yes men. There are people around you who look at you as this iconic figure and not a businessman who, we're trying to run a successful business. A wise woman once told me when I was a kid, if we all agree on everything, one of us shouldn't be here. So if that's the truth, then maybe, Mike, just maybe, Charles wasn't out of bounds with what he said. Now, maybe in the delivery where you could go talk to him first, like, hey, Charles, listen, man, if you're going to say stuff like that, how about you come talk to me first? As opposed to just putting it out there. That's something completely different than Charles putting it out there and, all right, Charles, I don't talk to you no more. Because what happens if we took, and by the way, Jordan, today is the 23rd, just a week ago, Jordan just turned 59 years old. All right. And I think Charles's birthday is coming up. I think Charles is right around Michael's age. So, Jordan, how would you feel if you found out that Charles had cancer? Or you found out that he wasn't around anymore? I'm pretty sure that would not sit well with you. I'm pretty sure that would be something that would affect you tremendously. So if we didn't learn anything, what's up, Sauce? How you doing, brother? If we didn't learn anything from what happened with Kobe Bryant, the one thing we could learn is, we ain't around long. And the last thing that I want is for me to fall out with my main man. Because, again, him and Charles go back 30 years. The last thing that I want is to fall out with my main man over some nonsense. It wasn't like he was sleeping with his wife or he owed him some money or some nonsense like that. This was something small. And the last thing that I want is to fall out with my man. And then this turns into something that we didn't resolve over years. And then one day you ain't around no more. And I didn't get to resolve this with you. And now I got to live with that. Or you got to live with that. That's childish, man. That is. That's absolutely childish. And that's something that needs to get resolved, Mike. It absolutely needs to get resolved between you and him, because I know that that's your man. No doubt about it. I know that that's your man. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on that. But that's where I'm at with that. I got an interesting question today, which is Luka in the MVP conversation now? We got about 25. This isn't this. Okay, so this is what I also want to get to the bottom of, right? Just because it's the All-Star break doesn't mean that we're at the halfway point of the season. No, we're not. We've been past the halfway point of the season. Phoenix got 25 games left. That's it. Phoenix got 24 games left. We way past the halfway point of the season. What's up, Tucci? How you doing, brother? I don't think that the Western Conference. You could make the argument that it was, but, and I'm going to get into that, Tucci. I'm going to get into that. Give me a second. But the question that I have is it ridiculous to think that Luka is a part of the MVP conversation? Now, we all know that the usual suspects, Giannis, Embiid, Joker, Ja Morant, DeMar DeRozan. Chris Paul's going to be out for 2 months, so I think he's out of the conversation. KD has been out almost 2 months, so I think he's out of the conversation. So with that being said, does Luka have a shot at this? Or is he even in the conversation? That's the question. I feel like MJ looked a little more open at the game toward other players and is trying to enjoy life a little more because of Kobe's passing. So I'm not sure why he's still being like this with Charles. Me neither, Jillian. Me neither. Me neither. I don't get it. And the reason why I don't get it is because I'm thinking about how much older they are now. And I don't want something to happen to him where I didn't get to squash this, and now I gotta take this to he gotta take I'm the one who's gotta hold on to this. Nah, man. You said too many guys at MC. You said too many guys playing too well ahead of Luka. I didn't say Luka was winning it. My question, MC, is he in the conversation? Which guys are playing better than Luka? Like I see what DeMar DeRozan is doing. I see what Giannis is doing. I see what Embiid is doing. I see what Joker is doing. I mean, they 2 games behind Philly. Dallas is 2 wins short of Philadelphia. And they're in 5th place in the West. And I think that's primarily because of Luka. Primarily because of him. So who is Dallas's second guy? Tim Hardaway Jr.? Because Porzingis is gone. Finney Smith? Who is their second guy? So I just don't think, in the same reason why you guys talk about Luka not being in the conversation, I feel the same way about Ja. I don't think Ja is in the conversation because Memphis has been successful without him. When you talk about the league MVP, what is the criteria for league MVP? Right? We've already established what it is. How valuable are you to your team's success? Hence the term success. If we winning, that matters. If you're not winning, that matters also. So DeRozan, Giannis, Embiid, Joker. I can get with that. If the Lakers start spazzing to finish top 6, is LeBron in the MVP conversation? Yes, LeBron is in the MVP conversation, but I don't think he wins it. For that reason right there, what you just said, top 6. That's not good enough, man. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. I've already told you in the past, we've only had 2 guys in the history of the game. And not in the history, I take that back. Only 2 guys in the last 40 years, 47 years, that have been on teams, one with a losing record and one with a team that finished below 3rd place. Only 2 guys. That's it. Every other league MVP in the last 47 years has finished on a team in the top 3 in the NBA, in their respective conferences. Every team, every league MVP. So that's why I'm having a difficult time. Now I know that, and I don't say this lightly. I know that it's different in seasons like this. And the reason why I feel like it's different in seasons like this is because in the Western Conference, for example, Phoenix got a 6.5 game lead on Golden State. 6.5 games. From 1 to 5 is only separated by 2 games in the Eastern Conference. 2.5 games. That's it. So that matters between the 1 seed and the 3 seed when they're only separated by 1 game or 1.5 games. That matters more than it would have in the past because it's so close. So I don't think it's ridiculous that Embiid is at the top of the list. And like I said, I think it's Giannis's award to lose, but I think that we have to talk about whether or not Luka is in the MVP conversation. I think we have to discuss that. We're talking about a dude who doesn't have a legit number 2. I mean, Brunson is as good as Brunson is. Is Brunson a legit number 2, or is Brunson better than Van Fleet? Is he better than Kyle Lowry? Is he better than, let's see, he's not better than James Harden. Is Brunson better than Garland? Is he better than LaMelo Ball? And the reason why I'm saying these people, because I'm thinking about guys who are on their way up, right? This is who I'm thinking about, guys who are on their way up, and I'm thinking about Jalen Brunson as one of the better guards in the game. But one of the primary reasons, if not the primary reason, why the Dallas Mavericks are a top 5 team in the Western Conference is because of Luka. He's running around with Tim Hardaway and Finney Smith and Powell, guys like that, and he's keeping them above water. So I think that, I don't think that he's the league MVP, but I definitely think he's in the conversation. No doubt about that. No doubt. Mm-hmm. I do not think Brunson is better than Garland. No, I do not. Mm-mm. I do not think he's better than Garland. I think that he's dynamic. I think that his ability to run a crew, I think he's got a really good mid-range game. I think he's a good transition player, but I don't think he's overall a better point guard than Garland. I don't. I think Garland's a better distributor. I think Garland is a better playmaker. I think Garland is just as good a scorer. I think Garland is smarter. I don't think Brunson is better than him. No. Hoops, we got to take this is what I need you to do, Hoops. I need you to get out of your feelings and take your blinders off with Joker. I see what you're looking at with Joker. You are looking at the player. That's not the way the league MVP works. It's not, brother. The league MVP does not work like that. You're 26-14 on a 6th-place team in the Western Conference isn't more valuable than my 27-11 or 28-11 on a 2nd-place team in the Eastern Conference. It's not. So what I need you to do is I need you to take off your blinders and I need you to widen them a little bit. And I need you to take a look at how everybody else is playing because team success matters, brother. It does. And that's not my problem, the fact that he got 0 help. So, and Steph didn't have much help last year. He led the league in scoring. That doesn't mean Steph is the league MVP. Why? They finished in 8th place last year. And it'd be one thing you could sell me on Joker being that if Denver was in 3rd place, they were in 2nd place. We having a completely different conversation. They're in 6th place, B. 6th. So your 26-14 and almost a block is not as valuable as Giannis's 28-11 and 6 assists on a 2nd-place team in the Eastern Conference. It's not. It's just not. Mm-hmm. No, Steady. I think Gordon is better than a varsity player. I don't think that he gets enough credit. I think that Will Barton is better than that. I think that Norris is better than that. So Giannis is 5th in the East, and I think they 1 game out. Yeah, one game, 2 games out. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. And the East, and by the way, the Eastern Conference is way tougher this year than it's ever been. Way tougher than it's been in years. So, Tucci, the thing that I can appreciate about that question, about the Western Conference being rigged, is Game 6. I think the Kings shot 25 free throws in that game, and the Lakers shot 27 free throws in the 4th quarter alone. 27 free throws in the 4th quarter alone. Mike Bibby gets bowled in the face by Kobe Bryant as he's trying to get open. And then he denies Kobe the ball, and they call a foul on Bibby. So you could make the argument that maybe, possibly, that there was some questionable calls. I will tell you this, though. I heard Vlade Divac say, quote, "If we have home court advantage, we will beat the Lakers." Well, guess what? Game 7 is in your building, on your home floor, for a trip to go to the NBA Finals. And those dudes laid an egg. Chris Webber, 53 minutes, 20 points. He scored 5 points in the second half, including the overtime. Doug Christie got dominated by Kobe Bryant. Kobe went 30 and 10 in that game. I think Doug Christie he had 10 points in that game. Got dominated. So I'm not buying the whole, you still had an opportunity in game 7 to win the series. And you choked. Vlade Divac, he played 27 minutes. He had 15 points. Shaq destroyed him in that game. I think Shaq had 34 and 14 in that game. Destroyed him. Nah. So, yes, sir. Yeah, I do think that the NBA reacted appropriately to the malice in the palace. Because there was nothing else like it. What did I say? 35, 34? Yeah, he had 35. See, in game 7 on the road. Does Brunson clear none? Are you sure about that? Are you sure that Brunson clears none? Because I seen none when he's healthy. We're talking about a dude who was up for Rookie of the Year. Shoot the long ball with the best of them. Will dunk it on your big man. Got a money mid-range game. Can play make with the best of them. Are we sure he clears him? Are you sure of that? Because I'm not sure he clears him. I don't know about that one. I can't say with 100% certainty. So, which game am I picking? Uncle, if you could watch one game in history live, I want to be in the building to see Wilt score 100. I want to be there for that. Because I hear so many different people talking about they were there, and I would love to have seen that. I would love to have seen Wilt play just once. But if I could pick one game, I would have loved to have been in the building to see Wilt score 100. I would have loved to see that. No doubt about it. Of all the games. So, as far as I know, this 75th anniversary, we already talked about the best international player, which I think we are all in agreement. And some people might say that Giannis is on his way, which I do believe that. I'm still having trouble with Giannis being a top 20 player all time in year 9. And I understand. I understand what your logic is. I can dig it. I absolutely understand, because the criteria for greatness is winning. Yeah, absolutely. Giannis got a championship. Giannis got 2 league MVPs. Giannis got a defensive player of the year. Absolutely. Giannis is a top 20 player. So if he quit today, if Giannis retired today, he's a top 20 player all time today. Man, I don't know if I can go that far. I don't know if I could go that far. That's putting a lot on it. Because longevity matters to me, man. And to not play a decade, right? And to not play a decade, even if he did accomplish being league MVP twice and being defensive player of the year and being a finals MVP, where's the sustained greatness at? We're talking about a guy in Giannis who he just got nice over the last 4 or 5 years. Those guys that we talk about in terms of greatness, James, Jordan, Jabbar, Russell, James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Bird, Magic, Olajuwon, Diesel, Bryant, West, Oscar. I could go down the list. These guys have sustained greatness. Sustained greatness. 5 years? That's it? That's all I'm getting out of you? 5, 6. So if he quit today to go 5 years, 6 years at 28 and 11, Charles Barkley went 11 years, 25 and 11, 11 years. Malone, 28 and 11 for 11 seasons. That matters, B. How do I know that you're not a one-hit wonder? How do I know that? So in the next, are we talking about Giannis? Are we talking about Giannis as a top 20 player over the next, let's say, because I think he's got 7 more years. Let's say he plays 7 more seasons. Over the next 7 seasons, if he wins the NBA championship one more time, doesn't win any more league MVPs, is first team All-NBA over the next 7 years. Let's say over the next 7 years, he wins the NBA championship and he's first team All-NBA 3 times over the next 7 years. Does that still put him in the top 20? And he doesn't win another NBA championship. Does that still put him in the top 20? Steady, I'm not listening to that. That's crap, man. I'm not listening to that. And the reason why I'm not listening to that is because so much goes into winning, B. So much. I want to, Steady, you are a guy that I want to talk to about this. And you know why I want to talk to you about this? Because 2 years ago, when the Miami Heat swept Milwaukee out the playoffs, what was your logic on Giannis? This was just 2 short seasons ago, by the way. This wasn't 5 years. This wasn't 6 years. This was basically 24 months ago. What was your logic on Giannis? One more time for the people in the cheap seats. Who? This is what it's going to take for us to get to the finals. What is it going to take for us to get to the finals? And that was after being the league MVP, by the way. So, what was your? I'm asking you, Steady. What was your logic on Giannis 2 years ago after they were swept out of the playoffs? I'm sorry. What was it? They won in 5 games. So Giannis wasn't healthy. So what about the year before that when he won the league MVP and they won 60 games and they basically got the gentleman's sweep from Toronto after they were up 2-0? What was your logic on him then? What was the logic on him then? If he ended his career at this rhythm and he had 10 or 12 runs at this level, I think he could accomplish. That I could get with. That logic right there is what I could get with. That right there, 10 or 12. I could definitely get with that logic. But we're talking about a dude who the sustained greatness. That was absolutely the logic, King. One more time for the people in the cheap seats. What was the logic 3 years ago? Kawhi sunned him. All right, my man. Try again next year. That was the logic on him. So what has happened in the last 3 years that makes Giannis a top 20 player all time? Well, Leonard is out of the game, so that helps. We did have a pandemic. That helped. And under no circumstances do I want this to sound like I'm bashing Giannis, because you guys know how I feel about him. I think he's the best player in the game. I think he's the best player in the game, no doubt. No doubt about that. Giannis' second best player was Middleton. Got 2 times Chucks. Did Barkley win it? No. Barkley did not win a Defensive Player of the Year. And Giannis went in 3 of the next. Giannis went in 3 of next 7 all leagues. Hell no. We don't know. That we don't know. You know why I'm saying that? Because, Steady, this is what you're giving me. You giving me what he did. You giving me what he just did. You wasn't talking this about him. You wasn't talking this about him 2 years ago. You weren't. Because if you felt like he was a top 20 player, did you feel like he was a top 20 player 2 years ago? Because if you didn't feel like he was a top 20 player, did you think he was close? Hoop, I think he's the best player in the game. I don't think he's a good player. I think he's the best in the game. Because if you're comfortable putting him in the top 20 right now, that means that he was close 2 years ago. And I don't think Giannis was close to being a top 20 player 2 years ago. I don't think he was close, even though he had won the league MVP in back-to-back seasons. So if that's the logic, Steady, then that means that we got to do that for everybody. We have to. We got to do that for everybody, not just Giannis. We got to do that for everybody. So if Joker wins, if Denver were to win the NBA championship this year, and Joker were to win the NBA championship and be the Finals MVP, we got to put him in the top 20 because the logic is already that he's the most skilled big man ever. So if he's the most skilled big man ever, him getting the NBA championship, that moves him into the top 20. And that is so short-sighted. So short-sighted. Absolutely he's not. Absolutely he's not. That's where I'm at with it, Kobe got game. That's where I'm at with it. The sustained greatness. Giannis is on. The reason why I think Giannis is the best player in the game today is because he was on his way to being that. It wasn't just because he won the NBA championship and was the Finals MVP. He was on his way to being that. He was on his way to being the best player in the game. Won the MVP and won it again. Didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. So I saw the progression, and you saw it too. For that reason right there, he just wasn't good enough. And not only was he, you need a lot of things to go your way, man. You just do. You need a lot of things to go your way. A lot. And what I can't discount the fact that, you know, the Phoenix Suns was up twice on the Houston Rockets. Both the years the Houston Rockets won the NBA championship. The Phoenix Suns was up twice, 3-1 on them, and gave the lead up. Twice they did. They didn't do it once. They did it twice. So no, King, that logic doesn't work neither. You know why that logic doesn't work? Because Charles Barkley was washed when he got with Olajuwon and Scottie Pippen. He was washed when he got with Drexler and Olajuwon. No, Charles was over. Charles wasn't nearly what he used to be. He was not. No. No way. He was not that guy anymore. So that logic doesn't work. Olajuwon wasn't the same. Because you're a troll, Nate. Get out of here already. My 49ers already served y'all. Why are you still in here? Can you please get rid of him? Get rid of this dude. Because I'm so over him. Every time you come in here with this corny Cowboys nonsense, we served y'all in the playoffs. Again. Beat it already. Did Barkley deserve it? Well, I will tell you this, Adam. In my lifetime, I never heard of a league MVP not getting any first place votes. And the guy that he lost to got all the first place votes. I never heard that before. In all my life. I never heard that in my life. That is the most. It was mind blowing. How do I not win the league MVP when I get all the first place votes? Not all the votes. All the first place votes. I get more first place votes than the guy who won it. He absolutely should have won it that year. Philly was a top 3 team in the East. They had won, I think they won 54 games that year, and that was primarily due to Barkley. Primarily due to Charles. So I don't think Marcus Smart is a point guard neither. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here we go with this Kyrie top 10 point guard nonsense. Nope, I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. That's it right there, Steady. That is it right there. There is no other. I don't think that Charles is the defender that Giannis is. I don't think that he's the. When I think about it as an offensive player and as an all-around player, I think Giannis is a better all-around player, but he hasn't done it long enough. That's why I said not yet, because he hasn't done it long enough. Well, what does that mean? If he's better than him right now? No, he's not, because this is what could happen. So if over the next 7 years, Giannis is not what we thought he was going to be, and he starts to fall off, right? And he makes over the next 7 years, he makes first team All NBA, I don't know, 3 times. And he doesn't win another league MVP. And they don't win the NBA championship. You know, even if Giannis quit today, you know Giannis isn't in the top 150 in the game in rebounding. He's not. Did you know if Giannis quit today, he's not in the top 150 in the league in scoring today? If he quit. Do you know that if Giannis quit today, he's not in the top 150 in the playoffs in rebounding? If he quit today, he's not in the top 200 in scoring in the playoffs. If he quit today, does that stuff not matter to you, brother? But all you care about is, well, he won the NBA championship. Does longevity not matter to you? I care about that stuff, man. I care that you came out with 8 albums, and the 8 albums you came out, 6 of them was dope. I care about the fact that you came out with 10 albums and only 3 of them was dope. I care about that. Here we go with this Kyrie Irving thing again. Well, I'll tell you this, Steady. I'm looking at Giannis right now, and he just got nice over the last 5 years. I'd like to see a decade of it. All the great ones, not some of the great ones, not most of the great ones. All of the great ones have a decade of sustained greatness. Malone, Barkley, Duncan, Dirk, KG. Even when KG was on them whack Minnesota units, they all have a decade minimum of sustained greatness. Giannis just got nice over the last 4 or 5 years, man. Over the last 4 or 5 years. I think he can too, Jillian. I'm not saying that he's not going to. I'm not saying that he's not going to. In fact, I think he's going to do it, which is why I said in the video that I made a while back, not yet. That's why I said that. The Celtics being 4th in the power rankings. I had them 5th to start the season, and I think they're 6th right now in the East. Because they went on I think they went on a 10-game win streak right before the All-Star break, and I had them 5th in the East before the season started. And it looks like the reason why they've gotten better is because their defense has gotten better. That's been the difference in what it is that they're doing. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum seem to be on the state. It looks like they're getting on the same page. And so it's 9 games. I thought it was 10 games. I'm sorry. It looks like they're getting on the same page with what we should be doing. Who's going to be the guy? It looks like they're getting on the same page with that. And That matters to me. I like what the Celtics are doing. I do. And as you know, Jason Tatum is my favorite player on the 25. I get people talking to me that Ja Morant is their favorite player on the 25. Last year, I had people talking to me that Zion was their favorite player on the 25. For me, it's Jason Tatum. He's my favorite player on the 25. So, what's up, Star Wars? How you doing, brother? I think Booker is good for I think he's really good for that system in Phoenix. But I think that Cat is a better overall player than him. Jaylen Brown has been out of the lineup way more. They got Pascal back in the lineup, and he's been playing much better. And I personally, Pascal already proved that he could be a number 2 on a championship team. He already proved that. And when he's healthy, I'm that dude. No doubt about it. So I would, if I had to pick between the two, and Siakam isn't that much older than Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is what, 23? Pascal is 26. Is he that old? I don't know. 26, I think, ain't that old. So I don't think it's that far neither. I think that Siakam and Jaylen Brown are close, but I don't think it's like this. Is there any chance Giannis overtakes Malone all time? If you had to guess, like I said, man, if he keeps doing what he's doing, I don't think he's a better player than Malone. I don't. I do not think he's a better player than Malone. I think Malone's a better player than him. I think that only reason why we don't talk about Malone, had Malone beat Jordan just one time in those finals, Malone would be a top 5 player all time. No doubt about it. He'd be a top 5 player. But the fact that he didn't win, the fact that he didn't win the NBA championship, that's what drops him. No doubt. You don't have to let me slide. I think Siakam is better than Jaylen Brown. I don't think he's that much better than Jaylen Brown, but I think he's better than Jaylen Brown. Absolutely. No doubt. I don't think that he I saw this thing today with Ben Simmons working on his shot, and he looks like a fish out of water. And I have such a difficult time with that. And the reason why I have a difficult time with that is because when I work on my shot, right? When I'm working on my shot, I develop muscle memory. So that means that I could just go to the stripe and shoot the ball because it's up here. It's right up here. So if that's true, he looks like he's trying to develop muscle memory, which suggests to me that he ain't been working on his game. That's what it looked like to me. It looks like he hasn't been working on his game. So if D Wade was in the game today, how D Wade played and how with the reckless abandon that he played with, I think D Wade would. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, we wouldn't have a discussion about the best 2 guard in the game. He better than Book. He better than Middleton. He better than DeMar DeRozan. Let's see. He better than Mitchell. We wouldn't have this debate. There would be no questions asked. D Wade the best off guard in the game. I stand on that. I don't think we'd be having this discussion. Dwyane Wade is the best off guard in the game. No, he would not be compared to Bradley Beal because Bradley Beal don't play. Bradley Beal ain't elite on both sides of the basketball, so that's a terrible comparison. Terrible. Bradley Beal is buckets, and that's all he is. He ain't the playmaker that D Wade is. He's not the finisher that D Wade is. He ain't the defender that D Wade is. No way. He would not be compared to Bradley Beal. No. He clears Beal, Booker, DeMar DeRozan. He clears all of them dudes. All of them. Good to see you, Liam. My man. One more time, steady. One more time, steady, for the people in the cheap seats. Please don't say that again. Oh, man. Yeah, I think Dwyane Wade is better than James Harden. Yes, I do believe that. No doubt about it. All you're looking at with James Harden is buckets. And he's a playmaker, and he's a guy who averaged double-figure assists. Dwyane Wade was elite on both sides of the basketball. James Harden has never been elite on both sides of the basketball, ever. What exactly is it that what are we talking about here? And Dwyane Wade, at no point did we ever say when they lost, you didn't show up. At no point did we ever say that about him, ever. When he was available, he showed up. So the idea that James Harden, Dwyane Wade, I don't think it's like this. But I tell you what, it ain't like this. James Harden was not better than Dwyane Wade. No. Mm-mm. Actually, it did. I don't know if you saw the NBA Finals in 2006. Actually, it did. So we can dead that logic. That doesn't work. We can absolutely dead that logic. So it actually did translate into MVP. So because he wasn't just, even though I think he averaged 36 a game in those finals, yeah, and he was elite on the defensive side of the ball too. So make sure you absolutely. What's up, Benzo? How you been, brother? Good to see you. Penny Hardaway would be really good today. Absolutely, Jermaine. Yes, he would be. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think James Harden should have been the MVP in 2019. I already went over this, my man. And the reason why, what is that? What if Harden would have had Shaq? He had Dwight Howard. So? And he had Shaq on the other side of his career, just like James Harden had Dwight Howard on the other side of his career. So that you're not selling that logic. No way, sir. Well, let me ask you this, Spo. If you trade an AD for Cat straight up, if you Oklahoma City, you calling me up and I'm Minnesota, what are you offering me? Oh, I'm sorry. If you're the Lakers, what are you offering me? Just AD for Cat straight up? I don't know if I'm doing that. Penny Hardaway, T-Mac. No, Shaq wasn't watching when he made first team All-NBA. He made first team All-NBA that year. He was 20-10 that year. 20-9, something like that. He was not washed. John, can you believe that? And not only were they not only did I get an argument, John, O2, what I also got was I got all kinds of, well, what if your bro is interested in this girl, but she interested in you and he like her? Well, first of all, if this is my man, we have a conversation about it. I'm hearing guys telling me that she's fair. If ex-girlfriend's a fair game. Well, what do you mean ex-girlfriend's a fair game? This isn't a competition. What are you talking about? That's some 15, 16-year-old logic. That means you and me ain't boys. We not. Because if we were, then there's no way that it would even be a competition. So, anyway. I don't think the Celtics are a championship team. I think that they're missing something. I don't think that they're there yet. I don't think that they're at a championship level yet. I think that they're missing something. Who do I like more, Steady? Jay, D Wade, or Bryant? Jay. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Definitely Jay. And I've said that, and I don't like D Wade. I love D Wade. Huge D Wade fan. Absolutely. I don't know if you ever. I've met D Wade a couple of times. Great dude, but as good as D Wade was, he wasn't 24 good. Mm-mm. He was not that good, and he was awesome, mind you. He wasn't good. He was awesome. So has to be. I think they're missing a post guy. I think that they're missing another big guy who could score. That's why I was hoping at the trade deadline that they would throw their name in the Miles Turner hat, because they're missing a Miles Turner type of big who could score, not just on the box, but somebody who could stretch the defense. Who am I thinking about? If they had a legit big, and I don't mean Joker, or we don't need nobody that good, right? We don't need nobody that good. But if they had Al Horford, if they had the 6 years ago Al Horford, they got a real good shot. But I think Al Horford is washed. I do. I think he's washed on a championship team. I still think he can play in the league, but if they had the Al Horford from 6 years ago, a 13 or 14-8 guy with Jason Tatum, with Jaylen Brown being healthy, yeah, absolutely. Solid ain't good enough, King. Solid ain't good enough. Hell yeah. Bronny James is a first round pick, specifically because you're getting James too for 1 year. You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen to your ticket sales? You know what's going to happen to viewership? You're going to be on TV every week. Every week you're going to be on TV. It's going to be a traveling circus with you. Everywhere you go, no doubt about it. Everywhere you go, every place that and I don't care where it is. Now, I will say this, and I think that I'm being transparent here when I say this. James said that he don't care where Bronny ends up. That's where he's going. I'm having a difficult time seeing James in an Oklahoma City uniform. I'm having a very difficult time with James being in the New Orleans uniform. I don't think that's happening. I doubt very seriously that James is suiting up for the Portland Trailblazers. I don't see it. Nope. I just don't see it. I think that he finagles it where it's somewhere that's at least desirable. Right? I don't exactly, John. I don't see him. He is not suiting up. He is not putting the Sacramento Kings jersey on. No, he's not doing that. How good was Tom Chambers? Think Kevin Love, except a better athlete. I think that's the best way that I could answer your question. He wasn't the rebounder that Kevin Love was, but think Kevin Love, except a better athlete. Read that right. Nah, he ain't. No, Darrell, he is not suiting up. No, he's not. LeBron James is not going to play for the Washington Wizards. He'll tell you that, and it sounds good, right? It sounds great. But I doubt very seriously that he's going to put on an Orlando Magic jersey. I doubt it. Mm-hmm. Dave Bing was really good. I think one year he finished second in the league in MVP votes. First team All NBA. He was awesome. He was a really good guard. I'm sure and it's understandably so, Adam, right? Understandably so why he wouldn't play in Orlando again. After essentially being trapped down there for those 3 months. That's essentially what it was. It wasn't like it was a situation where, we could mingle and go out on the town. It was none of that. He was basically trapped down there. So he couldn't get out of there fast enough. And I don't blame him. I'm sure that when they left there, he was like, yo, you ain't never got to worry about me coming down here to live. Modern day George Gervin, that's Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's definitely Kevin Durant. That's Kevin Durant. That's a souped up Kevin Durant. That's a 1979 Corvette with a better engine and better body work, nicer wheels. That's who George Gervin is. So no, I don't see it, Zillows. I don't, man. I'm having a difficult time with that. So no, I don't think Sexton helps them that much. We're talking about a guy who played 1 year in college, and James had to basically drag that team to the finals. You think that this kid from Alabama, this small Isaiah Thomas looking dude, is going to help us have to deal with Toronto and Milwaukee? No. Mm-mm. Liam, what up, brother? No. And see, this is what I'm talking about, Keyshawn. This is exactly what I'm talking about. He said that I don't care where it is. Let's eliminate some people right now. All right. LeBron James is not going to play. He's not going to put on a Pistons jersey. He's not going to put on a Pacers jersey. He's not going to put on a Sacramento Kings jersey. He's not going to put on an Oklahoma City jersey. He ain't putting on no Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. He ain't putting on a New Orleans jersey. Kill it. It's not happening. No. You could be more talented than somebody and not be a better player. That could happen. Absolutely. That could absolutely happen. You could absolutely and you could make that argument. I've said in the past, I think that KD is a better athlete. I think he was a little bit nicer with the pill than Bird. But the long ball, I'll argue that wasn't the game. But if it was, Bird would have been just as good as him. If he would have shot at the volume that KD shot, he would have been just as good. He could have been just as good because he was a 50, 40, 90 guy shooting the long ball at that rate. So he was a better defender than KD. He was a better playmaker than KD. He was a better passer than KD. He was a better rebounder than KD. He was better in the clutch than KD. He was a better all-around player than KD. I don't think KD more talented than LeBron. I don't. I think LeBron better than him at just about everything. No, I can't. I wish I could say I could, but yes, Jermaine, I do believe that. I do believe. I've said that. I don't know if you've ever been on any of my streams or seen any of my TikTok videos. I'm on record saying, with the exception of Len Bias, anybody that you ask me about with what ifs, what if this guy or Grant Hill? For me, it's Grant Hill. So, and why is that, Rand? Why do you think it's a racial thing with Bird? I mean, I've already made my logic on why I think it is. Why do you think it's that way? Is Dwight Howard a top 10 center all time? You could make that argument that he's a top 10 5-man in the history of the NBA. You could definitely make that argument. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at is there anyone in the league right now that you'd like to see get traded to a new environment? Yeah, Jillian. Valanciunas. He's wasting away down there in New Orleans. That's 18 and 12 down there. That's going to waste. What do you think he would be in Charlotte? How much better would he be in Boston? How awesome would he be on Miami? That means that Bam can move to the 4. Let's see. What other teams? I'd love him in Minnesota. He's wasting away down there in New Orleans with that whack crew that they got down there. But Dallas too, Ian, absolutely. Yeah, Adam. LeBron is not moving to Salt Lake City. That's not happening. Nope. I love Valanciunas. I don't like him. I love Valanciunas. And if I'm the general manager of the Charlotte Hornets, I would have definitely called up New Orleans. What do you want for the big fella? Steady, we know that that's not happening, though, brother. We know it. We know LeBron James is not putting on a Utah Jazz jersey. We know that. No way is he putting on a Utah Jazz jersey. Not happening. No, Ray Allen is not a top 5 shooting guard all time. He's a top 5 shooter all time. He's not a top 5 shooting guard all time. Because the same reason why he left Cleveland. And the same reason why Jillian, Ja, I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on to Ja in Memphis. Because same reason why Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City. A lot of times these guys become bigger than their market. And their market just can't hold them anymore. I think Ja is going to be a big deal in the NBA. A big deal. And I think he's going to outgrow Memphis to the point where he's going to be too big for them. And I don't think that they're going to be able to hold on. I don't think that they're going to be able to hold on to him. In terms of the money, they could pay the most, but away from him, away from Memphis, he could make so much more. So when I look at LeBron James, even for 1 year, him going to Salt Lake City, they couldn't handle the media hype of what it would be. Even though they were a big-time team for a lot of years, when Malone and Stockton, I was around during that time, and I was in Salt Lake City. So I saw what Malone was. I saw what Stockton was. But they weren't Magic and Jabbar, right? They weren't Jordan. Like if Jordan was in Salt Lake City, it would have been nuts. It would have just been crazy. So I just can't see him. I just can't see him doing that. I don't have 10 guys that's nice with the pill. Kyrie, Kenny Anderson, Ross Strickland, Shamgar, Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash. Those are guys that I can think about off the top of my head. Jay Crossover was super nice with the peel. I don't know if he top 10, but Chris Paul nice, but I don't think he nicer than Steve Nash with the peel. Kenny Smith was a good pro. Yeah. Exceptional athlete. He had a nice mid-range game. He could shoot the long ball. Kenny Smith would be really good today. I'm thinking about a lead guard in the game today. Think the kid from San Antonio that I'm digging, DeJounte Murray. He a bigger version. That's a bigger version of Kenny Smith, except he can rebound. And he a better distributor. Mm-hmm. If they draft Bronny, yep. Yes, sir. I think he would go back there. If they drafted Bronny, I think he would go back there. No way, Steady. I wouldn't be like, oh, I would just be like, I just don't think that teams like New Orleans, Sacramento, because the media frenzy that it's going to be there, they can't handle it. They wouldn't be able to handle it in Salt Lake City. They wouldn't be able to. It would be too much. They just wouldn't be able to handle it. It would be too much for them. Anthony Bennett is the biggest draft bust. Yes, sir. They spent the #1 overall pick on him. I think him, Chris Washburn, also. Murray Stoudemire was elite. He wasn't elite on both sides of the basketball, but he was elite. And the reason why they didn't win a ring is because the Western Conference was a nightmare. It was just a nightmare. Dealing with San Antonio, dealing with the Lakers, even though they beat the Lakers, but dealing with San Antonio, dealing with Dallas. It was a nightmare. I thought that Greg Oden was going to be, honestly, I looked at Greg Oden and I thought I was seeing Patrick Ewing 2.0 when I first saw him. I was like, they got my big man for the next 10 years right there. There you go. We're going to build it around him and Brandon Roy. And we're going to be good. I did not know he was made of glass. I didn't know that. No. Mm-hmm. I told Keyshawn that the best looking jump shot, if you go open up a dictionary and if there's a picture of a jump shot in it, that picture is Allen Houston. I've never seen anything so. I've never, in terms of a jump shot, Allen Houston, it was textbook. Never seen anything like it. Never. In all my days. In all my days. So I'm a big spiritual dub. I'm a big Justin Herbert fan. He looks to me like Dan Marino, except the better athlete. I think he's going to be the best quarterback in the game at some point. He's just got to keep getting better. He's my favorite quarterback in the game. He's not the best quarterback in the game. He's my favorite, though. No, Desmond Mason is not a top 5 dunker. Mm-hmm. He wasn't better than Vince Carter. He wasn't better than Jordan. He wasn't better than Dominique. He wasn't better than Drexler. He wasn't better than Zach LaVine. He wasn't better than Aaron Gordon. He wasn't better than Doc. He wasn't better than Larry Nance. Let's see. I could keep going. No, he was not. He was not better than Sean Kemp. That's a fact. No, he was not. Mm-mm. So Blake Griffin either. Yeah. I was gonna say Glenn Rice too. What's going on with Bogdanovich? You know this. What did I miss about Bogdanovich? What happened to him? The NBA on TNT's all-time draft. I don't. When was it? Hmm. Oh yeah, it's about that time. Yeah, well, I got time for one more, and I'm gonna go. It's my five favorite 49ers of all time: Montana, Jerry Rice, T.O., Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott. I dug Brent Jones too. Big Brent Jones fan, and Keena Turner. But those five that I mentioned, so those are my favorite. But it's about that time, guys. As always, it's been great. The season gets back cracking tomorrow, and we get back to it. 25 games left before the playoffs, and then it gets even more interesting. Right? It gets even more interesting. So I think I'm on again tomorrow night. Yeah, I think I'm on again tomorrow night. We'll see. But this is good. This is really good. So until then, take it light, guys. We'll take it.